Continuing here, putting on a fourth tape. I don't know what the hell's gotten into me, but I don't shut up too well. But, it really feels good to get stuff off my chest. And I think it's important stuff. I really do. Otherwise, I just wouldn't bother, friends. But I was talking about this episode, this True Crime Files, and it really was something else because this guy nutted up, turned into a serial mass murderer. I think he killed 4 or 5 people. And it was all because of racism and just, xenophobia. Talk about xenophobia. This guy was picking on people he believed to be immigrants he didn't even know. But he was just guessing. But he shot this one guy in the face, and the guy survived and fought to keep this guy from being executed. I found it quite remarkable. But the guy was executed anyhow, and he never repented even on his deathbed. And as much as he told the guy, he wrote him this eloquent letter, he appreciated what he had done, but he was unrepentant in what he had done. And he said something. What was it? It was the statement he made. Something to the effect was, "Oh, I'm still a proud Texan." He just was. That's it. So this guy, this real nobody, but he was basing who he was on being a proud Texan. Is this going to hold water? I mean, you can stand before your maker today, and this is where you're unrepentant about these people, that you murdered in cold blood, these innocent people, and you're going to stand before God and say, "Yeah, but God, I'm still a proud Texan." So this is what the guy had to say to this guy that fought to save his life. Messed up stuff, man. I've talked about medicinal foods before, and like I said, I've got this huge wealth of store of information because since I was a child, about 11 years old, my parents started a health food store in Felton, California. It's a little township in the Santa Cruz Mountains, about 6 miles from the city of Santa Cruz, north. And I've been around it. My dad got into nutrition when he was in his 30s, when the doctor said he had 5 years or less to live because he had contracted this multiple sclerosis. And so he decided to do his own research, and he got into nutritional fixes, or at least ways to maintain the problem, this disease. So I've been around. I was pretty much weaned on this health foods. But just having all this knowledge doesn't make me practice what I preach. And, I like my share of junk food. But I like to share what I do know with people. And what science is finding out, this business of fasting, if you do light fasts, okay, it rejuvenates your digestive system. Now, you want to think about your body like a machine. And if you do that, you'll understand. It's just like you change the oil in your car. Well, or if you could put something in there that would purify the oil. And, if your engine had a way of taking a bowel movement or urinating, then all the bad stuff could come out. Maybe, there's an innovation for somebody to make an engine that could actually just, you just add oil and it would relieve its own wastes, so the contaminated oil. But right now you can't. But in a car, you got to change your oil. You got to, because they sell dirty fuel, the gas companies, you got to put something in there to clean the combustion chamber and your fuel injectors. Even repair manuals, very knowledgeable mechanics will tell you that. So there's certain things you can do to make sure that your engine lasts the longest possible, reduce friction and all that, wear. But the body is the same way. And one thing I didn't mention was that protein is a medicinal food too. It's actually the building block of your body, your cells. And there's protein is talked about in perfect forms, like the most physiologically perfect, like the egg is actually very good. This is something my dad always taught me. That's something that the mainstream media news, though, we were all confused. People thought, oh, I'm having an egg white omelet, I'm healthy. When the opposite is true. Actually, the healthiest thing they could do is just get rid of the white and eat the yolk. Okay, so it's very healthy. Doctor, what's his name? Doctor. Oh, I can't remember his name right now. It doesn't matter. But he's one of these doctors I really respect and trust. Joel Wallach. And he says that a guy could eat a dozen eggs a day and be healthy, and it's probably right. Now, if you've got diabetes, okay, he claims he can cure it in a couple of weeks, but he won't come out and claim it, but in a roundabout way he does, so he doesn't want to face lawsuits and all this crap for false statements or something, get censored or whatever. But the Cubans, they've got a cure. It's over 90% cure for. But do we hear about that for diabetes? But it could be very simple things. I got a nephew that's married to a woman and she's got diabetes. I mean, this insulin, from what I hear, is prohibitively expensive. $1,300 a month. I've heard story. How in the hell? That's insanity. This insulin, whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but you can look it up for yourself. The cost of buying insulin for a diabetic. But to think if you could cure this just by eating more eggs, I mean, you got to say that eggs are a medicinal food. And other proteins too. I mean, you take fish, sardines. Look at people that live the longest in the world. They're eating diets rich in seafoods where they're getting plenty of iodine, right? This is something Alex Jones is into. He seems to know quite a bit about it. He's got his friend Dr. Group that knows a lot about nutrition and this iodine, though. I mean, he puts a lot of emphasis on it when it's really not that hard. You need trace amounts of minerals and stuff. You get it from a lot of sources, particularly just seafood sources. So it's not hard to get adequate amounts of iodine, but of course it is an essential nutrient. So diet in and of itself can be a big step in just getting proper nutrition and medicinal food. Parsley, of course. I mean, if you've got the teeth for it, man, chew it up. You could put it through a juicer. And of course, juicers are a big hassle cleaning a juicer after you're done with it. But I've done my share of juicing and enjoy it. Nothing tastes better than a fresh, cold glass of carrot juice. But you don't want to get too much of anything. You do have to watch it with the vitamin A and the D. That's why I say, when I take cod liver oil, I'll just take, 5 or 10 capsules, and it stores in your liver. It stores in your body. But if you're a smoker or your lungs have been exposed to toxins, man, I highly recommend take some vitamin. I can't imagine me getting in trouble for telling somebody they ought to look into it at least, research it, ask your doctor if it's okay, to take a handful of cod liver oil capsules once a month or something. It'd be very healthy for you. And B complex, I can't imagine getting in trouble for telling people to eat B complex for brain health. Okay, because that's true. And we all know about vitamin C, but how many people really, eat enough fruit or vegetables that have it, or have to take supplements? It's important to get enough of it. The D, if you're out in the sun a lot, you get it. But anyhow, medicinal food is everywhere. This idea that oil of oregano is good internally to cut down on the candida in your body, because if you eat too much sugar, your candida grows too much. It gets out of whack. It's a bacteria that's a friendly bacteria, but too much of it can be an enemy to your digestive system, cause diarrhea, all kinds of problems. So yeah, the oil of oregano has been known to be very good for that. And externally for skin cancer, if you get it soon enough, you don't have to do what they prescribe to you in a medical establishment. You can get diagnosed there. But if you catch it sooner, any anomalies, any skin anomalies that look asymmetrical or strange, they kind of just a little itchy, not even really sore, but you just notice it won't heal, it won't. Start putting all that stuff on it repeatedly over and over and over, 5, 10, 15, whatever it takes. Don't get the crap in your eyes. You get that on any sensitive tissue, your body and your genitals, your eyeballs, you're going to rue the day you were born, believe me. So fair warning, you might end up in the scald unit at the hospital with that stuff. It's seriously, I've gotten it in my eyes and it hurts like hell. And it takes a while of flushing to get it out. But I just wanted to put that out there about that oil of oregano being a very powerful natural medicine that I believe in. Again, I don't get into turmeric. Of course, if you eat curry, I think curry is one of the key ingredients of, turmeric is one of the key ingredients of ginger, too, of curry. So if you like Indian food or stir fries, you might easily get plenty of turmeric from those foods. But cancer preventing, cancer curing, a lot of people claim. I believe that about cayenne pepper, red pepper. Very good. Alkalinizing effect. Who would think that a red pepper? The same with lemons. People think of citric acid, but it has a very alkalinizing effect in your body. Super healthy. The bioflavonoids, very healthy stuff, man. A glass full. You did a lemon. You squeeze a lemon in a big glass of filtered water every day. Man, that's good stuff for you. You're going to have healthy kidneys. Your blood is going to clean in your blood and all that stuff, man. It's good stuff, man. So I just want to share these things with people. And greens, you hardly ever hear about vitamin K, but that's one of the key vitamins you're getting. When you eat greens, you're getting vitamin K. I like root vegetables. They seem to agree with my system. Yams are one of my favorite. Only problem is I got to use like a cube of butter per yam. It's barely an exaggeration, but a little salt and pepper, just boil a yam. Yeah, nothing tastes better. It's making me hungry just thinking about it. But I like potatoes. I like carrots. And carrots, it's interesting with carrots that actually the vitamin A, the beta carotene in a carrot is much more assimilable, absorbable if you cook the carrots. This is something my dad educated me about. So if you like cooked carrots, a little butter, salt and pepper, and delicious, what could taste better, right? Then know that you're getting, a good dose of beta carotene, vitamin A, very healthy, very important in preventing cancer. So is the vitamin D. These are anti-inflammatories too. Natural. Mother Nature gave us all these foods that are really double as medicines too. The body being a machine is very healthy. I like peanuts. Peanuts are another root vegetable, right? We think of them as, they're beans, legumes. Beans themselves are a root vegetable, a root food, a protein, source of protein. Very good, very high quality protein. And if you have grains with your legumes, your beans, your root vegetables, then you're getting a complete protein. You're getting all 8 essential amino acids, which is very important to the building blocks of the body. I learned this also. I took health science in college, so I've got that under my belt. Plus, I've read a whole lot of books. And just being around my dad with his multiple sclerosis, he wouldn't let me get away from the knowledge. He used to, for many years, decades, he did a blender drink where he put everything in the kitchen sink in there. Lecithin, he put brewer's yeast in there. He'd put kefir in there. He'd grind up vegetables. He'd put raw eggs in there. He'd put, what are these seeds? Chia seeds in there. You name it, he pretty much had it in that blender drink. And of all things, it didn't taste half bad. But powerful. I mean, you drink a little glass of that stuff, you feel like you just extended your lifespan by 5 years. So there are definite medicinal foods. And I, of course, think of activated charcoal. I mean, although activated charcoal is not a nutrient, it's not really a foodstuff, certainly not a vitamin, but it's a detoxifier. And all of us are exposed to a lot of different toxins, We take them on purpose. Junk food is one of those things, and we inhale them. So all this stuff's going in our blood and in our organs. And so the activated charcoal, taken with plenty of water, because always that's one of the, water is probably the greatest medicinal food out there, liquid, whatever. Okay, so plenty of clean filtered water is very important.